Hello, hello, brothers and sisters. I'm Prince Ojong, your host. Welcome to a new edition of our show titled Speak of Africa. We told you we started this show because we wanted to give a voice to you, our brothers and sisters. Since we started, you guys have been supporting us, and we say thank you very much. For the show of today, as usual, we'll look at what is happening in the motherland, then we'll come up with a theme. This theme dominates the news cycle in Mother Africa. For the show of today, you guys are consumed by the U.S. presidential elections. How are these elections going to affect the policy of the United States towards African countries? Well, we've told you in the past that we don't really care much about who really wins elections in the U.S. Whether Kamala Harris wins or whether Donald Trump wins, much is not really going to change. There are some differences. For example, we know Kamala Harris will talk more about reproductive rights, but fundamentally, Kamala Harris will be focusing on the interests of American citizens. She was elected by Americans, so she will focus on what is good for Americans. America first, that's the policy. Trump uses the same policy, America first. Trump will focus on what is good for America. All of them will still talk about AGOA, African Growth and Opportunity Act. This is Prosper Africa vehicle that has been helping African countries. Both of them are just playing with the same policies. So the policies are not really unique. They are not really designed to do much to help Africa. Rather, these policies are designed to serve as a bulwark against the encroachment of China on Africa. So they really want to stop China in her tracks. That's what a lot of what you see today is about. So don't think that, oh, Kamala Harris is of African descent, she's going to do much to help Africans. You guys were saying the same thing about Barack Obama. What did he do for Africa? Tell me. I know you guys, oh, Trump is against immigrants. Yes, he has a very racist immigration policy. But Africans have to do what they have to do to stay in the United States. More African immigrants will come to the United States, and we want to help them do that. So what we need to start doing now is to focus on Africa first. What can we do to make Africa great again? To me, the solution is simple if we are people who think. What can we do? I think fundamentally we need to model success stories. I always say this on this show. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. Look at what other countries have done to develop. Look at what the USA has done. Look at what China has done. Look at what South Korea has done. Look at what Japan has done. Okay? Look at what Singapore has done. These are all models of development. In the case of China, which Africans are saying, oh, the Chinese miracle. The Chinese miracle begins with Deng Xiaoping. He's the architect of modern China. So we need to have architects of modern or new Africa. When I look at some of the leaders who are colonial, the colonial era should be washed away. And which is why you are telling us we should support strong leaders like Ibrahim Traoré from Burkina Faso, Assimi Goïta of Mali, General Touani Abdourahmane of Niger. That's a new model. We need people who are nationalistic, who love their country, who are not going to accept dominion from the West. They want to chart a new path forward. They see the plight of the people and they commiserate with the African people and they want to help them to make changes. So you guys have been talking to us. You like the path the new guys are charting. So we call them the architects of the new Africa. That's Ibrahim Traoré, Assimi Goïta, and General Touani. These guys are bold enough to dare the West and say, listen, enough is enough. Africa must grow. Africa must be free. and they are charting a new path forward. They are breaking ties with their French colonial master. France is crying foul. Okay? So this is good. But what we're telling you, we want all of this to happen. It can only happen within a framework which is legal. We need a new legal framework. And we're advising these new architects of the new Africa to develop a new legal framework in their countries. We're not really interested in pushing them to organize free and fair elections, because democracy does not work in Africa anywhere. Same thing as somebody says, democracy works everywhere else, but fails in Africa. Similarly, you have the mystery of capital. I have this author, I've been talking about this author from Peru, Hernando de Soto. The mystery of capital. Why capitalism succeeds in the West and fails everywhere else in the developing world. It's because we do not understand a certain logic. And the logic is legal structure. We need to have a formal legal structure. We need to have the rule of law. If the rule of law obtains, if there's property rights, protection for people who own property, that's the beginning of development in Africa. So we need to begin with the basics, the development of a legal structure, a formal legal structure that makes it possible for us to own property. We need to have what we call a bundle of rights in real estate. And of course, we also include intellectual property. People should be able to own property. They should be able to transfer property from one owner to another peacefully. We should have a chain of title. Okay? Those are the things that I can educate African leaders on how to do, because I'm an expert in real estate. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm an expert in real estate, and I'm also an expert in technology. I know how these things work. And we are willing to share this information with most of our leaders. Okay? For the show of today, we'll start with Botswana. Botswana just had a new president, Duma Boko. Duma Gideon Boko is the new president of Botswana. We introduced you to Botswana back in the days when we organized the second African Nation Awards. Botswana won the award for good governance. It's a country towards the southern part of Africa. It has been a parliamentary democracy for a very long time, and things have been working well. But recently, the country has been facing some challenges. Botswana, like many African countries, depend a lot on primary products. Botswana is the land of the diamond. This country depends so much on the export of diamonds. You may say they have cattle and tourism, but 90% of the production focuses on the processing of diamonds. Okay? Interestingly, within the last year, the market for diamonds has been facing a big glut, which means there's oversupply of diamonds in the international market. Then you also have the fabrication of lab gems, which means diamonds that are made in the lab. So they've created too much supply of diamonds in the global economy. As a result, Botswana has been facing a lot of economic crisis. The youth cannot find jobs, there's inflation, and there's unemployment. President Masisi was thinking that he will win re-election because he comes from the dominant party that has ruled the country, Seretse Khama, then Ian Khama. Since Masisi was, but the two of them fell apart. They were loggerheads because of personal issues. Ian Khama returned to the country a few months ago and decided to back the opposition. And Duma Boko was a human rights lawyer who was in charge of the Umbrella for Change in Botswana. After 3 trials, he has run for president 3 times. The first 2 times he failed. The 3rd time, which is this time, he won. And now the people have given him confidence. So he's the one running Botswana. So this is good. But Botswana is a very developed economy in Africa. When I compare it with other African countries, I would say there's no comparison. It is right at the top. Very good human rights record. The rule of law. What we're telling you today, the rule of law, it is obtained in Botswana. Okay? They have a legal structure. They have property rights. Okay? The only issue we have is this government should reduce the share value, the percentage of the diamond ownership. Instead of giving the country Botswana only 15% and getting 85%, the De Beer company needs to negotiate the contract. And that's what Duma Boko is doing. He's going to renegotiate the contract so that the government of Botswana can get 51%, then 49% goes to the beer company. You should understand that the beer is an Anglo-Saxon American conglomerate. They dominate the diamond field. Before it was owned by a Jewish family, the Oppenheimer family. Okay? So this should usher in a new age in Botswana. Burkina Faso. In Burkina Faso, we have a young leader, Ibrahim Traoré. He's doing a lot of good things for his country. First, he's cutting the umbilical cord of colonialism. Now he's facing pressure from the jihadists, and he's getting more equipment and military supplies to fight the jihadists. But as much as the fight against the jihadists is going on, we want to remind Ibrahim Traoré that, brother, we are with you, we support you, but we want you to start looking at the legal structure of Burkina Faso. Don't rush to organize free and fair elections. Don't let the international press pressure you. We are here for you. We're going to help you. We're going to help you get your message out. The African nation is supporting you, Ibrahim Traoré. We want you to take your message out. We're going to take our message and share it with the world so that the world should know the good things you are doing in that country. And we want to work with you. Okay? And legal structure is what we're advocating. Don't rush to organize free and fair elections, because the new leader will come and everything will be a mess. They will go back to the French. So stay there and be the architect of the new Burkina Faso, à la manière de Thomas Sankara. Okay? That's what the people want you to do. So build the legal structure. Then we'll usher in a new age of the Industrial Revolution in Burkina Faso. Start by helping. We'll see some of the initiatives you are introducing, helping farmers, people who are doing petty trading. You are doing that on a micro level. That's very good. We like some of those things that you're doing, and we want to have proof so that we can share with the world, so the world can know the good things you are doing in Burkina Faso. Chad. Chad also has a lot of problems. Today, you guys send us stories. The military had an accident. The jihadists, Boko Haram, killed a lot of people in a military base around the Lake Chad region. We hear over 40 soldiers lost their lives. But Chad faces a problem because the baby dictator is not trying to rule the country by the rule of law. He does things the way he wants. He keeps the country as a banana republic, just the way his father had it. But we are suggesting that Mahatma Debi, you need to change things in Chad. Start looking for a way to implement a legal structure. Now you are president. You fulfill a long-time dream of being president. Use this tenure to change the structure of your country. Give it a legal framework, just as we recommend it in the Ministry of Capital, written by Hernandez de Soto, the Peruvian economist. That's a book we encourage most of our viewers to read. The Mystery of Capital: Why Capitalism Succeeds in the West and Fails Everywhere Else in the Developing Countries. Okay? We are writing a book which we title Compassionate Capitalism, a Blueprint for Africa's Renaissance. The book is coming out before the end of the year. Okay? And we want to share the book with a lot of our viewers. Compassionate capitalism. That's what we need to have in the new Africa. We want to give you the blueprint, okay? Congo DRC. Well, Felix Tshisekedi keeps talking about changing the constitution, but fundamentally the problem he faces is the lack of a formal legal structure. He needs to create that in his country. Instead of worrying about changing the constitution to stay in power forever, Felix Tshisekedi should focus on creating a legal structure with property rights protection for investors. This is going to unleash a lot of forces that can lead to the development of Congo DRC as an economy. Congo DRC has a lot of resources, but as we've been telling you on this show, Felix Tshisekedi allows thieves to walk away with all those resources. Nobody asks questions. This is sad. The same applies to La République du Cameroon with Ambazonia.
Welcome to a UC Tax Service. We are tax professionals at your service. Our services include tax returns, payroll, bookkeeping, business planning. We provide professional service, years of experience, and are proud to serve your business. Get your maximum tax refund with 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. We are located at 11207A Lockwood Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland, 20901. Contact us at 240-350-1131. Fax 240-556-0535. Or email service@ayuktaxservice.com. Our hours of operation are weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and weekends 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. For more information, please visit us online at www.ayuktaxservice.com.
Biya is a colonial guy. He has sold his country out to the French, the Chinese. The people are poor. Everybody is sad because things are not working. But the military are everywhere. The military belongs to Biya's tribe, so he can do and undo. Nobody can touch him because the military is everywhere to protect him. Because the military guys come from his tribe, it's difficult to even organize a coup d'etat. So when you look at Cameroonians, somebody will ask, how come this guy has been in power for over 43 years and nobody can overthrow him? Well, state capture, that's the secret. Biya and his family have captured the state, the apparatus of state. So they run this apparatus to the detriment of the Cameroonian people. So we're going to tell you more stories. We don't have time to talk a lot about Cameroon and Ambazonia today. We'll take you to Ethiopia. Abiy Ahmed came in as a new kind of guy who is going to introduce a lot of change in his country. But we are sad to tell you that even when we look at what the Ethiopian economists have written, Abiy Ahmed does not believe in property rights. He does not believe in legal structure. He has a military background. We're thinking that as a young person, he would introduce a lot of changes that can help his country. But Abiy Ahmed is not doing that, and which is why there is a lot of pain and suffering in Ethiopia. The war with the North has ended, Mekele, but things are not going fine with the Ethiopian people. So there's a lot of pain in Ethiopia, a lot of pain. Ethiopia is the seat of the African Union, yet all is not well in Ethiopia. So things are really tough. Then what about Mali? Well, Mali is the country of Assimi Goïta, and Assimi Goïta was one of those who decided to kick out the French, and we're happy with that decision. Assimi Goïta is the new architect of the modern Africa. So we're telling Assimi Goïta, we've seen the work you've done with young people in technology. The French people were hiding passwords and codes from you guys. You brought in your young guys, and they were able to decode everything, and your technology stuff is running. We salute you, Assimi Goïta. We love you, and we're with you. But we're telling you, go the next step. Don't rush to organize new elections, because that's not really a priority for Africans. The priority is to build a legal framework which will guarantee property rights protections. People can own property. They can transfer property from one generation to another without any inconsistencies. We can help you to build such a system because America is based on that system. I know the system intimately because I've worked in that system for so many years. I've been a realtor, I've been an investor, and I'm a technology folk. I know how these things really work, okay? I know how they work, so don't mind. We can really help you. Then what about Niger? Niger also is a country that is run by General Abdurrahman Tiani. You guys realize that his people love him. The French were trying to strong arm him, but he was able to play games with the French. And who won? The people of Niger won. Uranium. The people have decided now to keep their uranium. They said, France, the uranium belongs to us, Niger. It doesn't belong to you. It's our uranium. If you need it, you have to negotiate with us under non-paternalistic terms. We have to do everything based on fairness and mutual agreement. You cannot bully us to take our uranium the way you've been doing with Mohamed Bazoum and the other leaders. Time has come for a change. We have to change things. Before you get our uranium, you have to pay for it. You cannot be giving us pennies, then you take our uranium and make billions of dollars. It's not going to happen like that anymore. So the people are really happy that Abdurrahman Tiani has stood his ground. He's protecting the resources of the country. But we're telling the new leader of Niger, we want you to embark on change. Focus on creating a legal structure in Niger. This legal structure should incorporate rights, property rights protection. When you own property, you should be protected. Don't take the land of people for free. Don't let members of your government seize land from people. That's not good. We need a good system, a legal system where there's fairness, okay?
Welcome to a Uke Tax Service. We are tax professionals at your service. Our services include tax returns, payroll, bookkeeping, business planning. We provide professional service, years of experience, and are proud to serve your business. Get your maximum tax refund with 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. We are located at 11207A Lockwood Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland, 20901. Contact us at 240-350-1131. Fax 240-556-0535. Or email service@ayuktaxservice.com. Our hours of operation are weekdays 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and weekends 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. For more information, please visit us online at www.ayuktaxservice.com.
Then Nigeria. Well, we have a whole lot to talk about in Nigeria. Nigeria too has a lot of issues, okay? But the one that concerns us the most is the malnourished kids who were in court. They fainted in court. Isn't that a shame? In August, these young people were protesting against hunger, inflation. But the Bola Tinubu government decided to throw these young kids in jail. Then they are threatening them. How are you a Democrat if you don't want the young people to protest Mr. Bola Tinubu? This is not good. So this has given a black eye to your government. This news has been everywhere in Nigeria. Everybody is talking about the young children, malnourished, who were brought to court and they were arraigned. Why should you be threatening kids like this, depriving them of food because they are protesting against inflation and poor economic conditions? And that remains a problem. So long as inflation exists in the country, so long as the economy is being mismanaged, young people will continue protesting because they are hungry. They said, a hungry man is an angry man. So know that. You don't want them to become bandits because you already have a problem with banditry. You don't want them to become kidnappers because you always have a problem with kidnappers. So we are really drawing this to your attention. The next, there's the issue of the reform of the tax bill. The NEC, the Nigerian Economic Council, the vice president is part of this council. They decided to withdraw this bill until further notice. But Bola Tinubu has insisted that no, he does not want to withdraw the economic reform bill. The people just think experts should be allowed to look at this bill, study it, then come with a good analysis. But the Bola Tinubu government does not want any experts to study this bill. It's like he's shoving it down their throat. He's saying the bill should just follow legal process in the National Assembly. But people who know things, a lot of people who crafted this bill are political appointees of Bola Tinubu. For one, a lot of the northern governors are challenging this reform tax bill. So they are challenging this reform tax bill, and they are promising that they may not vote for Bola Tinubu again. Bola Tinubu's people are telling them that, listen, okay, Bola Tinubu has a northerner as his vice president, so the north will still vote for Bola Tinubu. What kind of nonsense is that? We think it makes sense for experts to study a tax reform bill. Don't just shove it down their throats by saying, taking the bill through the National Assembly. No. Let the experts study the tax bill, then they look at the ramifications. What are the political ramifications? What are the economic ramifications? What are the social ramifications? So those are the issues that need to be addressed. First, get technocrats, just like Madame Ikonjo Iweala used to be in the Obasanjo government. Get technocrats who are well-renowned to study the problem. Don't rush to implement stuff the way you did with the fuel subsidy and look at what it costs. Then even the way you are managing the Naira, I think you need experts, technocrats, to help you know how to manage the Naira as a currency. Because this is creating a whole lot of hardship for your people. And that's why most Nigerians are crying foul, because the economy is not well managed. Bola Tinubu continues telling his people that, oh, please, give me more time to work on your economic problems. Be patient, be patient, be patient. How can you tell a hungry man, an angry man to be patient? For how long are they going to be patient? Forever? We don't think so. And this is why the crisis in Nigeria is growing. The people keep complaining. It's a good thing Nigeria has its own currency. But what we are saying is the Nigerian government does not have the knowledge to manage this currency properly. Nigeria needs financial experts to help deal with the issues of the Naira as a currency. Okay? So that's as much as we can tell you, Mr. Bola Tinubu. Next, we take you to Mozambique. Mozambique also is a country where we have a lot of issues with the rule of law. Frelimo, the party that led the country to independence, is still dominating the political landscape. A few weeks ago, the results of the election were announced, and the opposition was really opposed to it. First, two important members of the opposition were killed in cold blood. Who did this? Of course, the ruling government did it. Who else do you think did it? And the ruling government does not want to be accountable. Then they went ahead and announced results that, okay, they won. What happened? Young people went to the streets. We saw a picture of a young guy who was shot in his mouth. A big hole. When we saw this, we said, this is sad. For protesting, you shoot the young guy in the mouth, then you see a big hole, he died. So many young people have died because they are daring to protest the lack of free and fair elections in Mozambique. Samora Machel, where are you? Wake up and see what your people are doing. Finally, we take you to South Africa. South Africa too is a place where we've been talking about state capture. When Jacob Zuma was president, he allowed some Indian brothers to take over the apparatus of the country. Then they were making money at the expense of your average South African. Then they were using racist stories to turn South Africans against each other. The dream of Mandela of a new South Africa, where is the dream? the dream is deferred. The dream is dying. Can it wake up again? It remains to be seen. So we thank you very much for watching our show, and we're telling you that we need to reinvent Africa. We can only do this if we have new architects. Okay? People who can help build the new Africa that we're talking about. These people need to be people who know how to build a country. We need to go back to agriculture because Africa is an agrarian economy. We need to move to mechanize our agriculture. Industrialization is a sine qua non. You saw what happened in Britain. The Industrial Revolution changed our society, and it has never been the same ever since. Up till now, Africa needs to undergo its own industrial revolution. So how long are we going to wait for the African Industrial Revolution? Let's start by industrializing our agriculture. Then now we can move to other areas of industry. If we can do that, this will usher in a new age in Africa. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Do you need tax preparation services? We can help. Contact PJ Tax Service, America's only full-time income tax preparers. Like the good old doctor, we do not close our doors after April 15th. In fact, we stay open all year round in order to serve you. We are located at 11207A, Lockwood Drive, Silver Spring, Maryland, 20901. Make an appointment today with Prince Ojong, your tax expert. Call 240-350-1131 or visit us on the web at www.pjtaxservice.com.
Selling a service or a product? Need buyers? Use the African Nation TV as a channel to reach many viewers. Act now and call Prince Ojong at 240-350-1131. That's 240-350-1131. Act today.